I don't think you can ever accuse Marvel of being ageist, because one of the villains we're about to paint is like just a super old dude with wings. Hello and welcome to another episode of Blastercaded Painting. Today we're going to be painting Sandman, Vulture, and Electro from Marvel Crisis Protocol by Atomic Mass Games. They share the color green on all their outfits, so we're going to do them all together. Let's do it. So first thing we want to do is give them all a dark color spray. I used a dark olive here. And then we're going to just move on to Angel Green here. We're going to put this on all the parts of the character that are going to be green. So Sandman's shirt, Vulture's costume, Electro's costume, anywhere we want that green to be. And I do like these new war paint fanatics from the Army Painter because they cover over dark colors really well. Yeah, one coat, and honestly, we didn't have to go back and do a second. So next we're going to take some mud brown here, and this is going to go all over Sandman's sand. I did have to do 2 coats of this, and you want to be careful around his neck area. There's a bit of like a transition between sand and skin, so just get that color on there. Next we're going to take some topaz skin, and we're going to put this on Sandman and Electro, so on their face, any place with their skin. So for those two, it's just their faces. Then we're going to take some salmon here, and this is going to go all over Vulture's face. Next, we're taking some orange fire here. This is going to go all over the parts of Electro that eventually we want to be yellow. So he's got all these lightning symbols all over him. Anyway, that makes sense because he's Electro. But yeah, it's going all over his costume where we want it to be yellow. Next, we're taking some Emerald Alchemy here, and this is going to go all over Vulture's wings. I do find with the Scale 75 metallics, which are really good, I do add a little bit of water into them. Next, we're going to take some Oak Brown here, and this is going all over Sandman's hair. I do love that Sandman and Norman Osborn both have that like kind of weird haircut where there's just lines in it. Yeah, I'm glad that they kept that in here because that's just a really odd stylistic choice that they made. And yeah, anyway, straight line hair is interesting. Next, we're taking some dark sea gray, and this is just going around Vulture's ruffles, frill, his neck frill. I don't know. I'm sure that there's a name for that on a Vulture, but either way, it's going on there. Then we're taking some dark neutral gray, and this is just going on Electro's cowl that's on his head, and it's also on his shoulders and chest a little bit. How many times do you think I'm going to accidentally call Electro Shocker in this video? I'll edit it out, but I can tell you right now it's already been like 6 times. Okay, so we're going to take some desert yellow first. We're going to get out our big makeup dry brush, and we're going to dry brush all that mud brown that we put on Sandman. So anywhere there's sand, we're getting this dry brush color on first. And it can be fairly thick, like an overbrush, but yeah, this is what's going on. Then we're taking some vampiric flesh. This is a really versatile color. I use it for a lot of stuff, but this is going on as the next dry brush on all that sand. Then we're going to take some, pale sand, and this is going to be our last dry brush up on all of the sand on Sandman. And obviously, I don't show this, but I'm doing the sand constructs the exact same way, so you can just go through and do those at the same time. Next, we're going to take some angel green and some green skin, and we're going to create like a gradient on our wet palette, and we're just going to start highlighting up all of the green that we did on all 3 characters. So this is sort of like a low end of angel green and that green skin mixed in. So that's our first layer that we're putting on. Then we're going to add in a little bit more of that green skin and do another layer up. And since we're not using a wash, we're leaving all the dark colors in the recesses and just bringing up the raised areas. And we're going to add in some more of that green skin, and we're just going in and picking out all those details, bringing up that color. And we basically just want to bring this up to a point that we like, and we're going to be doing this on all three of the miniatures, so Vulture, Sandman are getting the same treatment and the same basic colors, but with Electro, we're going to start adding in a bit of Rainforest, because his costume is a little bit brighter than the other two's, and we're just going to go in and do another layer up on all those colors. So he's going to seem a little bit brighter of a green than the other two. And you can see here, like I said, we're just doing the same thing over on Sandman and Vulture. We're just not bringing them up to such a bright green. Next, we're taking our Topaz skin, our Barbarian Flesh, and our Dorado skin. And we're going to use this on Electro and Sandman's face. And we're just going to start bringing up all that flesh color that we did. So you can see here, you know, we're just going through all those raised areas, and we're adding in a little bit more of the Barbarian Flesh, and just slowly making sort of a gradient in our skin to bring it up to the highest points being just the Dorado flesh. And you can see here we're really quite a bit brighter now on that flesh color, and we're doing just the most prominent areas, so eyebrows, nose, cheekbones, just along the jawline. And this looks really unnatural at first. So once we've done that, we're going to go back and take our mid-tone that we used and thin it down into almost like a mid-way glaze consistency and go in and fill in the areas that we had. So we got our highest points done. We know where they want to be. Then we can go in with that mid-tone and just flatten out and blend in those areas. And we're going to take some salmon and some Dorado skin, and this is going to be for Vulture. So, again, we've added the Dorado skin to the salmon. We've made kind of like a step up from just the salmon. And we're going to put that on there. And the reason this is going to be so bright is because we're going to do something a little different with his skin than we're doing with the other two. So then this is just the pure Dorado skin now. There's no real salmon mixed into this. But yeah, we've got other things we're going to do to his skin. Because he's an old man, so we have to do it differently. And we're going to take some ivory here, and we're going to use this on Sandman and Electro's teeth. His face is still drying in the shot, so it does end up looking better than this. Next, we're taking some fur brown. We're going to use this just on Sandman's straight line hair, and we're honestly just going to bring up the color, leaving the oak brown in the recesses, and that's all we have to do for the hair, because I want it to look very comic book Spider-Man cartoony. Next, we're going to take some strong skin shade here, and we're going to water this down and put it all over Vulture's face. So we just want to move it around, get it in all the recesses and cracks, and we even want it on the smooth surfaces, because once we're done doing that, we're going to dry off our brush and then wick off and move it around, and this is going to give his skin a rather like liver spot aged appearance. Next, we're taking some pale gray and some silver gray. We're going to use the pale gray first, just on his ruffle or whatever. I don't think we ever figured out what it was called. And we're just going to start doing little tiny lines on there, just starting to bring up that color. Just around the entire thing. Little tiny lines. We don't have to follow it. And then we're going to take our silver gray and do the same thing. So we're adding the depth of the color to it, and it ends up turning out looking really good. Next, we're taking some Croak Green here, and we are just going to kind of thin this out a little bit and put it all over his wings. Next, we're going to take some Soul Blight Gray, and this is just going on Electro and Sandman's teeth. Next, we're taking some Dorado skin, ignore the salmon there, and we're just going to go in and add a couple highlights here to the skin on Vulture. So, like his chin, his nose, his eyebrows, his ears, you know, like his cheekbones. We're just going to bring that color up a little bit, and we're going to thin out our brush so we have very little paint on it, and then we're just going to do the top of his chrome dome there as well. So we just kind of thin out our brush and just kind of do almost like a wet dry brush sort of thing on there. Then we're going to take some volcanic yellow and some demonic yellow. The volcanic yellow is going on first. This is going over all of Electro's electricity designs, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah. So we're just bringing that up. We're leaving the orange fire in the recesses to get our shading. And now we switch over to the yellow, and then we bring that color up a little bit more. So we're leaving our volcanic yellow in the recesses as well. And we're just doing the most raised areas with this yellow. Now I'm going to take some Wicked Pink, and I'm going to put this on all the lightning bolts he has flying around him. I heard it was a good undercoat for yellow. We'll see. Next, we're taking some dark sea gray, and we're just going to do one layer up on his cowl. So we're just kind of bringing up that color. So it is going to end up looking a little bit more gray than black, but with the other colors, it really kind of works out. Now we're taking some Marduk yellow. This was a mistake, and I was putting this on the lightning, and it took like 3 coats because it's scale 75, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Just use a different yellow. I ended up halfway through switching, I think, to like moon yellow from Vallejo. Just do that, because this was... I just kept having to do layers and layers of it, and it wasn't worth it. So, there you go. Next, we're going back to our Emerald Alchemy, and we're just going to do a dry brush on Vulture's wings. So just get in there and kind of clean up all those areas. Next, we're going to take some Ice Yellow here, and we're going to do a dry brush up on all that Marduk Yellow that we did, and also the Moon Yellow that I mentioned. But yeah, we're just going to dry brush certain areas of that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then we're going to take some White Alchemy. We're going to do dry brush up on that lightning again. I'll do the bases on these guys, and they are finished. So here they are, all finished up, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. Electro's really cool, and it's kind of nice to see that the lightning colors are different there. Vulture turned out really good. I like how his skin kind of looks old and a little leathery. The frill on his neck turned out really good, and I love that Emerald Alchemy. And Sandman here turned out really good. I'm very happy with how he looks. These were super fun miniatures to paint. If I'm being critical, I could probably go through and smooth out Sandman's face with like a thin wash or like a flesh colored kind of like glaze. But I'm really happy with how the sand turned out. I'm really happy with how Vulture's wings turned out. So it's always good on a miniature that you probably think, oh, maybe I could have done better. Find something that you do like instead. And I was obviously under a bit of a time constraint to try to get these out for today. Anyways, are you guys picking up this box? This is the one box I've been looking forward to for a while. I love the Spider-Man's villains. He has some of the best villains in comic books. Yeah, these are all really cool. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. You guys have a great day. You know what? You can't just say the 1960s Spider-Man theme song. Just try and say it. Don't sing it. Just try and just read it like you're reading instructions. It's really hard to do.